Crapmore gang, it's been a little while since I've given you guys a David update, and just like you're probably wondering how the hell this guy David hasn't been arrested yet. In my opinion, I've seen so much evidence to make me believe that he clearly, likely, in my opinion, had something to do with this. It really is baffling that nothing has happened. It's also baffling that nothing has happened to his friends, and we've heard all of these rumors that perhaps other people were involved in a potential murder, perhaps other people were helping to conceal the body, and perhaps other people knew what was going on. But I'm now hearing a lot of theories to suggest that everybody involved in this situation might have actually already fled the country. And perhaps, in my opinion, the reason that David hasn't faced justice, perhaps he's already out of the country, out of any jurisdiction where anybody can get hold of him, and essentially the cops are just floundering, unable to even make a move. Now, I'm going to tell you about all of these theories today, but first, I want to give you some backstory that's going around from this YouTuber's video. So this is Sloan on YouTube. Okay, he did a video 9 days ago called The Truth About Celeste's Autopsy. Source close to the David investigation reveals what really happened. Okay, and basically this is a breakdown that was going around on the Celeste subreddit, and I've not really had a chance to properly look at this until this video. But this basically goes through some new information that Sloan apparently revealed from his own private sources that are apparently close to David. Okay, they're saying in the description, it says, I spoke to someone close to the David investigation, so let's get into it. Now, I won't react to the video, but go and check that out if you want to see the whole piece. But this is a summary on Reddit, and I'm going to read this to you. Okay. It says, with all the conflicts going on between the LAPD, the medical examiner, and TMZ, here's another source of unconfirmed info coming from an insider that reached out to Sloan. The video is about the state of Celeste when she was found in the Tesla. Here is the video. 1. Sloan has been contacted by an anonymous but vetted source connected to the LA County Medical Examiner's Office who has seen Celeste's remains and provided detailed information that contradicts both TMZ and the LAPD. 2. Celeste's remains arrived at the medical examiner's office in 3 separate garbage bags. One bag contained her legs, another contained her torso, cut above the mid-thigh, and a third bag contained her head and arms. This is very, very twisted. This contradicts reports denying decapitation. The source confirms the body was decapitated and partially dismembered. 3. Multiple cut marks were observed in the bones. Evidence suggests that at least 3 different cutting tools were used, possibly an ineffective handsaw, an electric tool, and other unidentified cutting instruments, and forensic analysis of the saw's teeth marks can estimate the force applied. Variations in force and cut patterns imply different people with varying strength could have inflicted the cuts. The source notes that whoever was supposed to finish the job of disposing of the body may have abandoned the effort, leaving the remains as they were found. Crazy. And then 4, frozen versus non-frozen. There is a major point of contention regarding whether Celeste's body was frozen. TMZ reports claim that the body was partially frozen and thawing, reportedly stored in the suspect's vehicle. The LAPD and the medical examiner's office reportedly deny the body was ever frozen. The anonymous source insists that Celeste was never frozen except once placed in the medical examiner's crypt for preservation during testing. The remains were described as soupy or waterlogged, indicating advanced decomposition. 5. Due to decomposition and waterlogging, fingerprint identification was impossible. Identification was confirmed via dental records which had not been publicly disclosed. The remains emitted an overwhelming odor consistent with the strong smell that reportedly led to the discovery of the Tesla. 6. Additional details. A yellow metal chain bracelet was found with the remains, specifically in the bag containing the head and arms, confirming some reports. Toxicology reports are still pending and could provide further clarity about the cause of death. The working theory within the medical examiner's office leans towards an overdose as the cause of death, given the lack of visible trauma such as gunshot wounds or clear signs of strangulation. The advanced state of decomposition obscured physical evidence of strangulation or other assault. Edit. Adding this because I had an additional convo with my source after this video was made. The shush tattoo was visible, but barely. A photo of the tattoo was provided to the medical examiner as a way to identify Celeste. My source said the tattoo was difficult to see, but after comparing photos with the remains, they confirmed it is in fact Celeste. I just think it's important to mention this because it's not like her remains were in a condition where the tattoo is easily visible. It was not, but enough to confirm the identity along with dental records. What does this mean? Well, to me, this means that a lot of effort was made to allegedly conceal this body. to take it apart, to make it hard to find, it sounds like there were failed efforts. A handsaw that wasn't effective. They said, oh, this will be easy. We'll cut this up with a handsaw. Oh, no, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. It's not like the movies. It's not as easy as just grabbing a little saw off Amazon and getting this job done. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's super chilling to know these details. But I feel like this says a lot. And I feel like this goes directly hand in hand with these reports that people were saying that other people... It was a two-man job. Maybe not man. Maybe it was a two-person job. Maybe a three-person job. Maybe a two-man and one-woman job. I don't know. All right, I don't know. But I definitely would be living in fear if I was in David's inner circle. But what's interesting, okay, there's obviously comments, people saying the total lack of respect for her body is sickening and heartbreaking. It is horrific. How can they lean overdose without the toxicology report? That makes zero sense. What an incredible disservice to Celeste and every other victim in LA who all deserve thorough, methodical, and unimpeded investigations. It seems the LAPD and District Attorney's Office and LA Superior Court are all on the same page, but the medical examiner can't stand the thought of letting the investigative process play out without interference. That's a serious problem that impacts more than one case. Sounds like the LAPD and friends were going to try and cover things up, but someone at the medical examiners is going rogue, releasing info so this can't happen. But it's possible the LAPD don't want things in the public domain as it makes arrest and prosecution difficult if everyone knows. The legal team can state that it's public knowledge and therefore the alleged perpetrators get off. Okay. Adding this because I had an additional convo with my source after the video made. The shush tattoo, that was already in there. People saying they wouldn't consider him a good source. All right, let's move on because I just need to get this off my chest. I really need to get this off my chest. Reports have been circulating that David's close friend, Asia Collins, has fled the country. She's popped up posting a picture in Norway. Bit suspicious if you ask me. They're saying, is that a guilt trip? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire crew, the main three, Asia, Neo, and David, if David's not getting arrested and if he wasn't a suspect to begin with, it wouldn't surprise me. People are saying, is he in Texas? Is he in California? There's been rumored sightings of him. This is just my opinion. I think they've all fled the country. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to set up shop in a place where you couldn't be extradited. This says, is that supposed to mean she's not facing any criminal charges and is allowed to leave the country with no problem whatsoever? People are saying, personally, I have a feeling she's not involved at all. This person said, I never really thought she was directly involved in the murder and dismemberment of Celeste, as well as being there helping transporting her remains. But did she never really question why Celeste suddenly disappeared out of David's life? She did know about Celeste being a minor as well. People saying she lied about not knowing about her age. Here's the thing. This is her trying to defend herself, but this is the problem. When you can't stick to a lie forever. If you lie, there becomes layers on layers of lies, and you will never ever be able to remember every single lie. You will eventually be exposed. It says, since some people are being so disrespectful, I do not like this chick. I'm not going to lie. I do not like this chick. I will clarify some things. I did not know the girl nor her age. May she rest in peace. I've never posted videos with Celeste Rivas. Only my friends Vanessa and Celeste Herrera, who are commonly being mistaken as Celeste Rivas. Bit convenient, isn't it? Had the decoy Celeste on deck. I really don't like these people. Everybody wants to act like TikTok detectives, yet can't tell the difference between person of color. Let's pack it up. So now it's racism. Let's play the race card. Out of line, man. Out of line. In July, Sakura did a live stream with them. I just find it weird that Asia had to go spray some bug spray first before they could go to the Tesla. She, Neo, and David all had these rules about filming around the house and in his Tesla. Maybe it was about drugs, but it's really weird. They all made sure to keep Celeste Herrera off camera, and Neo was worried about anything leaking while filming in the house and anything leaking while filming in the Tesla, so they were being careful of what they filmed despite talking about having pills and showing alcohol. It's cold in Norway. I hope Trent remembers to bring a sweater. Is that David's sweater? The same one Celeste wore? Hopefully a lookalike, but what the hell? Apparently it's a different neck. People saying there's no way this is real. What? Neo and now this clown? Says, do I think she personally murdered a child? No. Do I think she knew that Celeste was a literal child? Of course I do. She was his little sidekick and had insights on everything. Of course she was doing it for clout. When you're that close to someone you know, you see and hear everything. And so she won't be charged with murder, but she will definitely be pressured into an interrogation room. Her fleeing to a different country only complicates things. I do believe that she's guilty by association, and there are some crimes that she can be charged with if she knowingly allowed David to continue with his minor and didn't say anything to the authorities, but this is more or less just a guilty conscience. They're an extradition to the US country. Didn't they say Neo is also out of the country? People saying he's in Japan, but there's no proof. We'll get to Neo in a minute. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, folks. We'll get to Neo in a minute. Nobody is safe. All right. I don't know if she's innocent or guilty, but this is not a good look for her. She's already riding the coattails of another person with influence. On to the next. Don't let this suck you by into your inner circle. Any famous people, I don't know who this lame, blue-haired Destiny wannabe is, but I would be careful. Don't let this clown show, this demon into your life. All right? Bilateral extradition treaties. Norway, extradition treaty with Norway. Extraditable offense 1, murder, including assault, manslaughter. Number 6, SUL offenses. Any laws relating to SUL offenses with or upon a minor. Kidnapping, abduction, and false imprisonment. You will be cooked, all right? That dude she's with is someone Neo would flirt with all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if Neo was with them. They're saying, where did you see that? Oh, no. Trent Kim, I swear my pants were just zipped. Dog, wait, am I pulling down your pants right now? This is crazy. Weirdo. Neo is a weirdo, bro. This Neo guy is just so cooked. He's so cooked. He looks like he's going to enjoy being cooked. He might like jail. He might like jail, okay? David Anthony Burke is disgusting and guilty 1,000,000,000%, but I really think we're doing too much with Asia without knowing if she spoke to police yet. I haven't seen her defend David since they identified the body, but correct me if I'm wrong, of course. I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but it feels like a witch hunt for the wrong person. She deserves heat for knowing he was grooming a child. I'm going to upvote that. All right. Hello. We conveniently forgot how she conveniently lost her phone soon after David got put in the hot seat. She's at a minimum conspirator to cover up crimes. Do not come to my town. Right? I just think, I think it's too much she can assume she was traveling to forget about the case, but she feels guilty. Don't know, it's the time for that. Now, a little while ago, I did a video, okay? Actually, no, we're going to get to that in a minute. Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute. But look, there have been unverified rumors going around that the entire main three, the big three, let's say the terrible three, the despicable three, David, Neo, and Asia have indeed all left the country, right? This was going around a week ago. The main three may be out of the country during a grand jury hearing. People that knew about David and Celeste, his friends. The despicable three, all right? Y'all are cooked. It has come to my attention that David, Asia, and Neo are all currently outside the country, coinciding with the grand jury convening. Does this mean they will be not obligated to return to the country unless they wish to, or will a warrant be issued for them? Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Guys. I'm sure you will check out this video because I feel like you guys are all narcissists and you're obsessed with your image. So like anything to do with this, I'm sure you locked in. I'm sure you subbed. Hit that like button while you're there. You guys are cooked, right? Do you know how few countries have extradition treaties with the United States? Like, bro, do you know what countries you're gonna have to go to some gutter countries, okay? So check this out, all right? Non-extradition countries to the US. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very aware of the countries that don't have extradition to the UK because I've covered rappers in the UK that have caught bodies and gone on the run. But it seems like there might actually be a couple of countries that ain't too bad that they might be able to flee to. But I'm not going to lie, it's a pretty bottom of the barrel. It says sometimes you can hear a person is safe because they're in a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the USA. This is a dangerous misconception. The absence of a formal agreement is not a guarantee that extradition is impossible, so you still might get cooked in these countries. In practice, the governments of some countries might make a decision on extradition based on diplomatic agreements, domestic legislation, and even bypassing formal procedures, especially if the charges are related to terrorism, money laundering, or serious crimes. Example, Cambodia or Vietnam have extradition to the US. Despite the absence of agreements with the US, extraditions still occur. In Middle Eastern countries, as Dubai has extradition to the US shows, unconventional legal solutions are also possible. Among the countries where asylum is often sought, places with no extradition to the US are mentioned. Cuba, Ecuador, Montenegro, or Colombia have extradition to the US. Each of them require a separate analysis. Therefore, it's important to not only know that where there is no treaty, but also correctly assess the legal system and political situation. These are the countries that don't have official extradition treaties to the US. Cambodia. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard some stuff about Cambodia. David might like it in Cambodia. I've heard some fuck shit about Cambodia. He might love it there. Vietnam, Laos, or whatever. Nepal, Iran, Syria. Syria ain't the one right now. Lebanon, Yemen. My guy gonna go to the war zone, bro. Eritrea, Chad, Somalia. I know a lot of rappers be fleeing to Somalia after they catch bodies. Zimbabwe, Belarus, Montenegro, Bosnia, Herzegovina. I ain't even heard of this one. Where's this? What? I don't even know. I don't even know. If David makes it over there, then he's going to be good. All right. Venezuela, Bolivia, Ecuador, Micronesia, Tonga, Cuba, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis. All right. This ain't a great lineup. This is not a good lineup of countries. Okay. But if he makes it to one of those, he could be good. But anyway, people are saying that these main three are out of the country. Okay. Asia's the only one who's publicly posted about being abroad, nor the PDF, nor Neo. All right. David have Neo nor the pedo David Burke have been confirmed anything I've seen. Posting a credible source saying how the other two had left would take this post from speculative to fact. David too? ? Remember, he's a free man, so he can travel anywhere he wants to go if he's not really a suspect. What's the source for David being out of the country? It is, trust me, bro. The first time when he leaked that Rush song, it said he was in Australia or something, then he quickly deleted it. I think, this is just my opinion, but I think it's likely. Now, I'm pretty sure the UAE, people will be posting the UAE, but I'm pretty sure, like, if they're American citizens born and raised and they're just out the country on passports, they'll have to return. If they're subpoenaed to court for the trial, then they'll have to show up or a warrant will be issued for their arrest. They'll never be able to return to America because the system will flag them on return and they'll be arrested on site. We have extradition rights with every country, I believe, except for a few, which include, I'm not sure this is true though, because I see this Google, but Google kind of sucks with the AI. I mean, according to Wikipedia, some of these are true. Like, it's hard to believe, but it's like they really don't have one with China. That wasn't on the last list. Russia. I'd rather be in an American jail than hiding out in Russia, to be honest. Taiwan, Ukraine, Vietnam, like, you can go to war zones or unfriendly countries, but I still feel like, these are countries with US extradition treaties and they've refused to extradite. And these are a bunch of, like, some of these countries are ones that we've seen on the last page, but ain't no good countries. Like, I guess David could go to China, like, that could run. All these countries on the list, they're saying that you could go to any of these. Realistically, Saudi, probably one of the best. UAE, Qatar, Saudi are probably the countries you'd want to go to the most. It says, if a person isn't in any of these few places in his big-ass world, then they have to come back, and they will eventually be brought back. Damn near everyone who's tried to duck the extradition in another country always gets caught and returned. Only person off the top of my head who beat the US justice system was never extradited was Tupac's aunt. Look into her story. Even the government and the people on her island looked after her. All right. What's to say Asia is posting in real time? For a grand jury, you have to testify if subpoenaed. You'll be charged with contempt if you don't. How are you so sure Neo's out the country? You should know you're in a group chat with SF. Historical big. There are allegations that he might be in Japan, but there isn't much public info coming. And an investigation serious enough to force him to stay here. Either way, you'd probably know better than we would, being in contact with Stephen Fisher, whether he's actually in the country. Why are they saying this guy knows SF? Every one of them pretty much went silent. The other two in the picture pretty much are irrelevant. Asia is confirmed to be out the country. All of them are streamers except David. Without him, there's no money being made because they're not streaming right now. This is so interesting that when they announced the grand jury, Asia left the country. If you're innocent, why leave? She could have possibly already spoke to them. By the time they announced the grand jury, the article said it had already been spoken with witnesses. I doubt the news was saying they can convene the grand jury to compel specific witnesses to testify in video evidence. I would guess that would be her, or at least she's the biggest victim of poor timing ever to happen in someone's life. Okay. They are all allowed to leave the country. Also, it's work. It looks like leisure to us, but technically, this is what they do for work, travel, party, and stream. As of right now, if they were asked to come in for questioning, legally, they can deny. The whole point of a grand jury is to show the evidence to get subpoena power. Once the grand jury comes to a decision, they can then subpoena them to come back to the US for questioning. And if they don't follow, they can go to jail, aka warrant for their arrest, and ignoring the subpoena. There's a possibility some of them have worked with the investigators already, so they might call them back for cross interviews. There's for their previous testimonies, 1 for to be under oath, 2 for cross-examination. Make sure their story matches previous testimony and find any missteps. Doesn't mean much that they're out the country, doesn't automatically mean guilt if investigators might not even ask for further questioning if they truly have nothing to give. Now, David is for sure in the United States. He has no business going anywhere. He wouldn't be able to go outside without people taking a pic. It would be a frenzy. He's probably at some random property or with family, just waiting it out. Technically, he can be, but there's no point. The reason he's not working with investigators is via his lawyer. They want to know how much the investigators know so they can build their defense. They're telling him to be silent and wait. Investigators are definitely keeping an eye out for him, though. Now, according to some, David is still in the country, okay, and is most likely following his lawyer's strict advice. Lockdown, staying at home. He's rocking out like it's 2020, okay? It says, where is David? Why is there no real info, real or fake, as to where David is now? Is he laying low with his family in Texas? Is he crashing with his entourage in LA? Or is managers hiding him somewhere? Is he in witness protection? I don't expect the police to release his whereabouts, but I'm just surprised that online detectives are posting all these in-depth theories and doing deep dives into anything anyone related and posting it online. But how has he not been spotted at 7-Eleven? Better yet, why isn't there info that he's staying with someone's cousin, stepmom, nephew's girlfriend, baby daddy's sister, best friend's house? People have a lot to say about this story, but no one's seen this kid since his tour got cancelled. I want to clarify, I'm not literally asking where David is. I'm just curious why no one's talking about it when they're talking about every other aspect of the case. Big, small, true or false, crazy, or illogical. This guy says, my guess, he's got Blair Burke, top-notch PR and damage control lawyer, hence why we've not heard anything from him. She made him go to some sort of mental wellness program or rehab for future PR to get off that mentally fragile, not some crazy killer. For sure, leave LA, maybe not California. He's still under their investigation, it seems. Go to a secluded Airbnb or rental so you can never be spotted. Don't stay with a parent or girlfriend or boyfriend. Maybe go to some private place owned by a close confidant and make them sign NDAs. That's why the bet is the family's other home, which is the one with the shed. She commonly does a whole little starvation phase for her clients for the first 6 months, like absolutely MIA, so she can make the public move on. The more time goes on, the less people are focusing on the case, but I guess we will see it when it all comes in court. People saying this is amazing insight on the lawyer and her tactics. Thank you for the comment. Sounds like you've got some experience. Okay. I don't have a connection with her, but yes, I've heard of her before this case and I've done additional research on her. I'm pretty aware of most of the top sought-out lawyers that celebrities seek because I'm astonished how much corruption can be seen in the justice system with a lawyer like that. It's crazy. I think it's possible he fled as a suspect. He would have been taken in by police for questioning, and they've said nothing other than claiming he's not been cooperating. Wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with a blind laundry ending, aka suspect does a big SAD. Okay, unfortunately, I've felt this since the very beginning. I really hope the name of justice, I'm 100% wrong, or eventually the truth does come out. Okay, now, just so you know, okay, people are wondering, Neo probably has fled the country too, all right? People saying, has police questioned Neo? He knows it all. He was there for everything. Look at his little pouty face, man. Cooked. Cooked. Basted. All right, ready. Ready. Just, let's, you know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. I'm ready for food, man. It's time to cook. This guy Neo is in a bunch of David's stories as well as on his own, which he recently deleted them all. Anyone have info on this weirdo? Okay. Saying, disclaimer, there's no evidence Neo is involved in any of the crimes discussed in this sub. He just knew David. That's facts, but he is a weirdo. Benson and Stabler would have had David's ass locked up last week. What's the hold up? All right. If we knew the information, it would have been reported by major news outlets. Now, obviously, I touched on it in a previous video that maybe David was in a relationship with Neo. This particular picture was mad sus. Just that hand. That hand's doing too much. That hand's doing way too much. Now, the theory that David and Neo might have been in a relationship is gaining more traction, okay? And the music video for One More Dance, people are saying that it laid out the plan. The actors played David and Neo. I think the video for One More Dance is how he intended for things to go. It seemed like David killed Celeste on the road trip and intended on burying her while out there, but something happened and he had to bring her back in the trunk. Maybe that's why they were far outside LA at the cheap motel in that odd video on IG. In this video for One More Dance, I believe the female character is actually playing David. I say this because of the facial piercings that are so much like his. Also, her personality and emotes are similar to his. The male character is Neo. They have a very similar face shape, and of course, the blindfolded Itami character is the presence that encourages them to commit the act. Edit. Someone commented that this motel is in New Mexico, so it could just be the post he made on tour, or he decided to drive from LA to Houston one day. The little goat in the video tied with a red string, my heart sank when I saw that scene because A, imagine David requested the goat to depict something much more cruel and sadistic and gruesome than video creators would allow in the final cut. Typical satanic cult sacrifice trope because D4 has zero imagination. And B, the goat represents the innocent, defenseless, vulnerable Celeste as the prey being teased and taunted by the predators David and his accomplice Asia or Neo, with reference to the red string theory being used as a leash to restrain and manipulate. David said in his Zach Sang interview that he just discovered the string could be broken, which is why I think he killed Celeste around or just before April 2025. Okay, the camera being the only item buried with David at the end was oddly prescient. Okay, people saying they're reaching, but according to the theory, all right, the video is indeed a weird depiction of David. They're saying the man is Neo and the woman is Celeste, and that's what's going on. So let's see. So he's burying himself, and then it's the man and the woman. The woman looks oddly like Celeste. Like, bruh, what are you doing? Driving around in a car? Is that someone in a trunk? Don't tell me that's... I didn't even notice that. It's like, that looks like someone in a trunk. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, bro? Don't tell me that's a trunk, bruh. Even just this, like this kind of... I kind of overlooked this, but it's like, bro... Like, we really doing this? We really putting bodies in the trunk? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. When was this? February... I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm actually over it. This was February the 6th, 2025. I've seen this video before, but I just didn't fully grasp, like, we putting a body in a trunk? We putting body in the trunk. I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this, man. LAPD needs to just get, bro, needs to just get busy. Body in the trunk, like, bro, really? I'm done. I'm actually done. Look, I'm going to wrap it up there. This actually just makes me angry. When is it going to end, bro? Really? Like, we really doing body in the trunk and they driving around and then this is a shot of the, you in the, this is the person in the, just David pretending to be Celeste in the trunk. But alive. And they spin in the car doing donuts. And then they took the body out and now they burying it. Where's this? Don't tell me this is that spot that was 2 hours north of LA. And now they slow dancing. Is this, you telling me this David and Neo? Bruh, this slayed me, man. What the fuck? Heavier the weight after watching you grow, bro. Don't slam the trunk on the camera and then cut to the Celeste lookalike, bro. Look at that. Cooked. Just stop it, man. Just, all right. Anyway, look, that's the video. All right. I feel like personally, in my opinion, these fools fled the country. They know exactly what they did. They know they're in deep shit. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. And it's all over the news, bruh. I'm tired of this one, man. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. This is fucked.